I mean,
better than,
yes, I'd rather that than
yeah,
Word document.
yeah.
Stuff like that.
I have several more than you do. I mean, at least that's me.
My cell phone says 7 o'clock, so I think we'll go ahead and get started here. Call the meeting to order at 7 o'clock. Would all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Just for those of you that are wondering, we do have enough here to establish a quorum, so we're good for a meeting tonight. We need to have a majority of 5, and we have those due to farming and family issues. A couple of those we're not able to attend tonight. One last chance, if you would like to speak, I have a paper right here and you're free to speak. We also need to vote on amending the agenda. Items that were added was there were some donations, I believe, for the FFA that were not on your previous agenda, and an overnight travel request from the FFA that was not on your agenda. So do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Mr. Ashbrook, is this participation regarding something that's on the agenda, or would you like to wait for the second participation, which is open for?
Do not believe it is on the agenda.
All right, I'll get back to you later. At this point, we would like to announce our September Students of the Month. Yep, if Jasper Hubert and administration from College Corner, please come forward. Jasper is our September Student of the Month from the College Corner Union School Elementary.
So Jasper won Student of the Month for courage. We often think of courage as a grand action, but it's also the quiet strength needed to keep going. Jasper has displayed remarkable courage by persevering through kindergarten so far with resilience and a positive attitude. We are so proud of you, Jasper.
Would his parents here, would you please stand?
I think there's.
Raise your hand. Next is Griffin Snyder. If he would come please forward. Griffin is our Liberty Elementary School Student of the Month for September.
All right, Griffin was chosen by Mrs. Paxton for showing perseverance. He's grown incredibly this year in reading. Even when it was difficult, he just persevered right through it. And he's proven that hard work and a positive attitude can lead to great success. We're super proud of him this year.
Parents?
Matt's, yeah.
We'll have 2 tonight from the middle school. First, we're going to recognize our August Student of the Month, and that was Madeline Carroll.
Maddie couldn't make it in August, but we wanted to bring her up today as well. She's such an inspiring leader. She is really a positive role model for all her peers. She is an amazing athlete, but also is not so competitive that she just runs by her opponents. She is a friend to everyone on the course, and so we're so very proud of her. Thank you.
Parents?
Now, our Student of the Month for September is Grace Myers.
Grace here, she is the most kind and respectful student that you can imagine. She is so full of heart, and she's just, it's hard to put a finger on it, but she just has an inner strength that is just shines so bright. She is just one of one of the best students, the definite student of the month, and we're so very proud of her as well.
And last but not least, our student of the month for Union County High School is Luke Mills. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Luke. Luke was nominated by Shannon Hill, and here's what Shannon said about Luke. Luke is genuinely an inquisitive learner who wants to know the why and how, not just the what do I need to know of all of his lessons. He consistently does his best and is willing to assist others with compassion and kindness. One of the nicest things you can say about someone.
I wanted to let all the students of the month and their parents know, if you would like, we will take a little break and you can go out here in the hallway. I think we'd like to get your picture taken. I don't know what
She's
part.
already got it.
Oh, you already got it, okay.
We got
Well, then
some-
my
we
other,
got the others.
what's that?
We have the elementaries, we need the middle school and high school.
All right, we need a middle school and high school. So if you haven't gotten your picture taken, you're more than welcome to have your picture taken out in the hallway. Also, the business part of the meeting will start after this. If you don't want to come back for that and listen to that, you're more than welcome. We're not offended inside the meeting.
Hey, Luke, you're excused.
At this point, we will open up, we will call the meeting to order for a public hearing on teacher negotiation. We are basically agreeing to move forward with the both negotiation teams to start the process. I will say a couple words about the negotiation, and then if anybody would like to make public comments, this is another time where you can make public comments about that. I will let you know that in this bargaining arrangement, the subjects that you are allowed to discuss are salary, wages, and fringe benefits, including accident, sickness, health insurance, dental, all those different insurances around your additional benefits. Things that we are not allowed to negotiate with both teams is evaluation, hours of work, safety issues for students and staff, teacher appreciation grants, class size, hiring, assignment, transfer, RIFs, or layoffs. Student discipline, expulsion, or supervision, budget appropriations, the school calendar, curriculum and curriculum materials, teaching methods, teacher dismissal, restructuring options for failing schools, the ability for a school to partner with an outside entity for dual credit, and funding for remediation. At this point, if someone would like to make any public comments about our negotiation, you are free to do so. All right, nobody wants to speak. We will adjourn the public hearing on
Wait a
teacher
minute,
negotiation.
Megan. Did-
Uh-oh, what?
Yeah.
I don't
We
know.
are
I
at
know
the
nothing.
teacher
What?
negotiation part. Did you want to make any public comments?
Just that we needed to have this meeting before we could actually start
Right,
negotiating.
this will establish that both teams will get together and establish that process.
Yep.
All right, we're on the same page. So we will adjourn the public hearing on teacher negotiation then. At this time, I believe we'll have Sheriff Adams come up and speak about our SRO resource.
Well, thank you for the opportunity to be here this evening. 3 years ago, we implemented a school resource officer program, and it's been a huge success as well as a great asset to our community and our schools. Not only have we had a school resource officer, but we've also bought a dog who is very, very efficient in the detection of drugs and weapons, and she's been a big asset as well as a big friend to a lot of people. But what we found out is that Deputy Shoemaker is stretched pretty thin trying to go through 4 schools. And Ryan Jones, who is a top-notch guy, not just because he's my friend or not just because Jessica's sitting here, but because it's the truth, he's a top-notch guy. He spends a lot of time in College Corner. But Jeff also goes down there, and Deputy Shoemaker was telling me, he said, there is no state line in College Corner as far as he's concerned. He said if he needs help down there, Ryan can help him, and if Ryan needs help, he can go help him as well. But what we've tried to do is, I would like to implement a second resource officer, and we've got the financing in order through grants. Before John Edge left, we had worked on this considerably, and then also the Ohio schools have given some of their safety grant money to this program. Depending on what the school board decides to do tonight, we'll decide how the council will vote Thursday when I approach them again. And so what I'd like to do is see what you thought about implementing a second school resource officer. I would like for it to be a female for a number of reasons. One will be de-escalation, another will be for empathetic reasons. And I think sometimes, not just in school situations, but in other aspects of our lives, that the touch of a female and the sympathy and empathy that a female has in other situations will be a big asset. So I'd like to do that. I've got a little girl that's, I call her a girl. Everybody's a girl now as old as I am, but I've got a young lady that works for me right now at the jail, and she's a corporal, and she has already had the SRO training. She has to do the physical requirements yet for the entrance exam for the academy. And I've talked to the state, and so if she can work for the school for 9 months, the other 3 months, she can work at the jail and do vacation relief and days off, things like that, and it wouldn't hurt anything. So, and then within a year, she has to go to the academy, and then she would also be qualified to work the road, which would also be a first for Union County, to have a female officer on the road. And I think that would be a very nice thing, especially for a county our size. But I just want to put that out there. We've got approximately $72,000 in an account from grants that were previously awarded, and I realize that the money was cut this year to $35,000, but I need to come up with about $18,000 to $20,000 from the county side to be able to finance the second SRO. I've got a number of ways that we're working on doing that, and just for whatever it's worth, the county council has been very supportive of the second SRO. But I wanted to bring it to your attention and see if you would entertain the thought of having one as well. So she would have a vehicle. I would supply all of her training and her uniforms and everything like that, but she would just be contracted to the school the same as Deputy Shoemaker is. Any questions?
Yes.
Yes, I have a comment. Situation is, this is, all we're doing tonight is approval to continue to investigate this. Okay, it's not that we're hiring, okay? And also, so you understand, it is no guarantee that the funding will be there for next year. We don't know that until we get into this. So that's what it's for, okay? So I would ask approval to look, to investigate it further, and bring it back for an actual hiring at the later date.
Also, to go along Mr. Noel's suggestion, if you were to approve hiring a second SRO, she or he would not start till after the first year, when the new budget takes place on the county side.
And when you say through the end of the year, so that would be January. to
January
May.
till the end of the.
January to
school
May.
year. Yes, sir.
Or June.
Okay.
Okay, so my understanding is we just need to vote to approve to continue the process. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any questions?
I just want to thank everybody for making sure to look into this. I know that the Ohio board was considering taking the money that they were giving to Butler County, which would be a huge loss.
Yeah.
You know, not that Union County can't do it, but that contract is extremely unique.
Yes.
And if that money goes, it's probably never coming back.
And that's what I'm worried about too, Mrs. Jones, about the grant money that we've already got. If we don't use it, then I'm under the impression we have to give that back.
Right.
Which would be, like I said, a huge loss.
When you use grant money, just for curiosity, can it be used for things other than, like, human factor, like not just a deputy, but door locks and things like that, or is it specific?
I don't know how they answered that correctly. I don't want to tell you wrong.
Okay, I can kind of shed some light on it. We
Okay.
have we had the safety officer here the other day, that went through everything that we've done or doing for our safety grant. Mike is very instrumental in putting that together. But the gentleman was here and we went over almost all the schools. We didn't get to the middle school, but we got to College Corner, we got to the elementary, the high school, we toured everything. He had some great suggestions of some of the things that we are going to amend a little bit. Like, for example, coming into the hallway here, he recommended that we paint instead of using signs, make it a color. And that, you know, then the people coming in and doing it, you know, the sheriff or whoever's coming in would actually know if they were coming in the building. The red part, if we painted it up above, that would be, or something might be happening, or another color, etc. Just some things like that. One thing we had thought about is putting in the mirrors in the corner. He said, oh, I don't think I'd do that. He said, because if someone comes into the building, they look there and they look in that mirror and they can see down this hallway. He said, you don't want that. He said, now I understand, you know, somebody coming down with like a cart or something, that's different, but that. Mike, any other things that he recommended some other things to you? I remember there was quite a few.
Yeah, there was quite a few. Those were the two big ones. The other things were just little minor things that we could just tweak a little bit. That was just something really simple. But those were the two big. With the hallways, because we had looked into getting signs made, and like our east and west hallways would be a color, and the north and south would be a number. That way, like when law enforcement or somebody came in, we could say the blue hallway or something like that, to where it would give them an idea. And his thought is if we just have signs, they're looking up for a sign that says this or a sign that says this, to where if you just put stripes at the top of your hallways, they're just looking up for a color, and then they'll be able to recognize the color before they're going to be able to read a sign. So just to make it simpler for law enforcement to come in and see, if they're told an area, what they're looking for. So it was something useful. And then with the mirrors, it was the same thing. Is if we're getting mirrors for our law enforcement people to see both hallways, well, the person who's not supposed to be there can see both hallways as well. So, you know, some of the ideas that we had, he said maybe you don't want to do that, and he can, you know, just little things like that. But those were the two big ones.
He had a great, he commended Mike on the, you know, the program and what he did and that kind of stuff. But he went over he was here for, what, 3-4 hours?
Almost
He
4
went
hours.
through everything that he possibly could. And he just gave us some things that won't cost us any money, some training and some things like that, that, you know, I was very happy when he left. Now, he did have to go. One of the things he requested when he came here, he had 2 things. He had to go to College Corner and shoot a basket in Ohio and one in Indiana, and then he wanted to see where the vehicle went through the school. Now, it took him a little while to make a basket in Ohio. I don't know why, but, you know, I got him close to the basket as I could, and he made a basket a lot quicker in Indiana. I don't understand why, but he did. So anyway, but he really gave us some helpful thoughts and things, and we will have a whole report for you as the board, all the things he kind of recommended and said, so that you are aware of what he's recommended.
The only reason I asked that about the safety grant money was if you aren't able to secure 18,000 or whatever it is you need, like, would that money then be able to be used toward a safety feature? I know you just said
You
you
mean
would
the
have to
money from
look
the
into.
county?
Well, if you don't get that money that you're counting on, like, will you lose the grant if you don't, or can it be used for like the lock blocks and things like that on doors?
I don't
and-
think so. And while I'm up here, during Christmas break, there will be some intensive, they call it active threat training now, at College Corner and at middle school, while you're on Christmas break. So if you see a lot of cruisers and things like that up there, and we'll have signs, I've got 4x8 signs set up to where people will know what's going on instead of big threat, big worries.
He did recommend like the lock box outside, you know, that they have a key to it, flips down, get the key, get in. those type of things, which we don't have those on the outside. And you don't want to give, like he said, don't give keys out to everybody, because that key gets loaned out sometimes, so you don't want to do that.
Just to answer your question on whether we lose that money or not.
Yeah.
With the Homeland Security grant that we got, they only fulfilled a school's #1 priority. So our #1 priority was the additional SRO. So that is the only thing that we can spend that money on. And we have until September, actually we have till August 30th of next year to spend that.
I forgot about that, Mike, you're right. Yeah, I forgot.
And all grants are frozen right now. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's the only thing we can spend it on.
And that's a federal grant.
Yes.
And then Ohio's money was federal or Ohio money?
I think it's Ohio money.
Or no, ours is just Indiana money, because it's Indiana. It's Indiana Homeland Security.
But the Ohio board, their money,
It is a federal, okay, it's a federal.
federal safety grant.
I thought it was state.
I did too, but yours, I just know it was grant money.
State security grant is a state.
I thought it was.
The Title IV is a federal grant.
I'll double check. Thank you.
So you just need approval to keep looking into this?
Yes, ma'am.
I got a question.
Yes, sir.
It's been over a year ago, we talked of our camera system in the campus and going to, in the future, interface with their cameras at the dispatch office.
Yes, there are.
They are interfaced and
There's a screen about half as big as the screen over there that's got all the cameras for the schools. We can pull them. As a matter of fact, Mrs. Huber was just here. She's a dispatcher, and she could probably answer that question easier, Dave. But there are screens down there at dispatch that show the middle school and the high school. A lot of times, just for instance, my nighttime deputies walk through the school quite a bit, and I've seen them pictures, and one of them chews snuff. It's funnier than it should be. But he chews snuff, and so Mr. Edge called me and said, "Hey, one of your deputies set off one of my detectors." So that's a good thing. They're working.
All right, so I have a motion, I have a second. We don't have any more comments, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Now for our administrative updates.
Thank you very much.
Yes, thanks. Yeah. We'll start this like I was a student coming through, so we'll start with elementary. College Corner, you want to start?
Good evening. You see enrollment there, it's at 248 and then 270 with pre-K. Just a frame of reference, it's down about 25 from this time last year. We did send some of our kids to Liberty for applied skills, but that was kind of eye-dropping for me today.
When you say that, I'm sorry, when you say down 25, is that including pre-K? Or
Yeah, it is including pre-K.
Okay.
Yeah, I can give you the numbers from last year too, I'm happy to send all that, but it was interesting to look at today. Upcoming events, we're doing a trunk and treat this week from 6 to 7 on Wednesday. We have parent-teacher conferences coming up. We're having book fair coming up. We are doing a Halloween parade, even though fall break is where Halloween falls this year. And then we have our Students of the Month for Courage. Jasper was just here, that's one of them, but there are several others who display that in our school, and we are proud of them. If you look on the back, we had Fall Fest and Trojan Trot since we've last been here together. I felt like Trojan Trot was a huge success. There were a lot of people there, a lot of people who gave positive feedback. We made $3,000 or $4,000. So it was really well received, and it was so cool to see the kids do something that was so hard. It was just like you accomplished that, and adults too, but it was like bringing tears to my eyes. It was pretty neat. We won't do it on a Sunday next year, but moving forward, we will keep doing it. Fall Fest, again, we had great weather. The dunk tank wasn't too cold, so I spent a lot of time in there and made, again, $2,000 or $3,000 there too. So had a couple successful events in the past month, and Penny Supper's coming up on November 7th, so that'll be after fall break. I didn't put that on here, but that's our next event, so. Questions or concerns?
questions?
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Lisa, Liberty Elementary.
Good evening. Our current enrollment is 327. We are up 1 from last month, still down from last year. I think we're about 14 down. We have some upcoming events. This week is book fair, parent-teacher conferences next week. We're also doing the Halloween parade, followed by fall break, and then our events start in November. We're doing our school carnival, and then PTO is bringing back the Harlem Wizards, so we're gonna get some information out about that. Our student of the month for perseverance and integrity are listed there. Our 5th grade teachers are doing some fun things, so they've created a bulletin board to showcase the kids, and they're announced on the announcements every week and doing some fun things with them. We had Fire Prevention Week last week. Our 3rd grade graders learned all about fire safety. Our kindergartners went down to the firehouse. Thanks to Joe for driving them because it was during the monsoon of rain on Tuesday. They had a drawing contest for the 3rd graders, and the winners are there with the firemen. I wanted to show you, we set goals for every grade level for math facts. Every grade level has a different set of goals, and so if the kids meet that, they get to come to the office and get suckers, and then when they get all of the goal for the whole year, they get these Math Fact Superstar license plates, greatest thing ever, and so this is our start. We'll fill the whole wall by the end of the year. And then I just showcased some fun things happening around the building. We've also started an attendance incentive, so our grade levels are competing for the highest attendance, and then they'll get a party at the end of every month. So some fun things happening in the building. Any questions? Thank you.
Sonic, middle school.
Our enrollment's at 283. We're down 1 from last month. We're down 4 from last year at this time. First up there, we have some classroom captures from around the building. You notice on the back side of that, we even have some office staff shooting bows and arrows with Mr. Higgins' class in the gym. It was September 13th, we had our first middle school dance. It was an outdoor tailgating theme event that was very well attended for having an outside tailgate theme that we thought was gonna be fall weather. It was 90 degrees, so it was super warm with everybody in their flannel and boots, but it was still really fun. Next up, we have our Shine Award. Ms. Michael passed that on to Mr. Albright. He was recognized for putting forth effort in making each of his students feel like they're an integral part of his class, building excitement for his subject, and you're nearly doubling the size of his program in just the first few months here. He is our GOAT of the month. Next up, we have sports. Our cross-country team did exceptionally well. They are very, very talented athletes. The girls won both our Union County Invitational and the TEC Conference. Maddie Carroll, our Student of the Month in August, actually placed 15 out of 457 runners in the state cross-country competition. Continue to get PRs all year long. We just expect very big things come from her. The boys team also did really well, not to be overtaken by the girls team. They did win. I couldn't find exactly which of their invitationals they won, but they did bring home some trophies as well as the girls, but they didn't score quite as high in the Union County Invitational or the TEC, but they did really well. Girls volleyball season wrapped up. We got some pictures there. Football has their last game tomorrow. They hope to finish with strong in that one. Band and choir concerts, they're finishing up their fall concerts. Choir was last week. We have band this week. They are doing really well. Bullying education, not to be confused with education on how to bully, but Mrs. Michael is going around discussing the difference between rude, mean, and bullying behaviors and ways to respond to each of those, ways to tackle that and how to really understand meanings behind behavior. So she included some snippets to share in her newsletter about dealing with those and how to help your child if they are experiencing those things. So we really try to do a proactive and reactive approach, proactive with, you know, coaching through those behaviors, and then reactive with consequences that come along with that, so. Grace Myers is our student of the month, again. Upcoming events, we got grades due, last of our football, middle school band concert. We're having a Fun Friday incentive party on Friday for everybody who had no Fs and no suspensions of any kind. They're gonna get to go do a fun incentive party on Friday just for the last hour and a half of the day. Then we'll move on to e-learning and our parent-teacher conference next Monday. Any questions?
Good evening. I'd like to report that we are 2 students higher than we were last month. And we had a student call today that is ready to come back to school. It's a little difficult to accept them at this point because we're 10 weeks into the school year. But we will work with that student, see if they have any records to bring us so that we could possibly transfer what they've been doing. That's a good thing. I think we finished the year at 343 last year, so we're not too far off. I have a picture of students against destructive decisions making posters for suicide prevention awareness in September. If you look at the bottom of the front page, I'd like to call your attention. We do have a new Facebook page. If you're like me, I wouldn't try to type in all those letters to get to that page. I would just search on Facebook for Union County High School and make sure you get the one that's in Indiana, because almost every state has a Union County. We are a complement really to Ashley Reister's Facebook page, Patriot Press. I'm hoping that sometime we'll have a fourth of the number of people following us as she has. But together we cover different things. A lot of our results are academic and things that she wouldn't be able to get to with her busy schedule of taking pictures at games and representing the sports and some of the other things she does. So if you're not following Ashley at the Patriot Press on Facebook, you need to look her site up as well. One reason we started doing this is we believe that it's very important for us to share our story so that we get the story out there that we want people to know about, rather than maybe have other people post stories that we don't agree with. If you turn the page, some pictures of our Human Services capstone class. They were fortunate to participate in a simulation for Dementia Friends. So you can see there that they were sensory deprived. They had on goggles, they had on gloves. I think they had earplugs in, and so they were trying to do everyday tasks with the sensory deprivation that some of our dementia friends have. So that was a great experience for the kids. At the bottom, there's a picture of our homecoming crowd, and Nathaniel Tolford and Heaven Fritz, our homecoming king and queen. And on the last page, there's a picture of our Life Skills Employee of the Month. If you don't remember, we already have a business going in our school. The Life Skills class sells coffee and flavored iced drinks before school. They are busy. They're learning to deal with customers, and they're dealing with money. During SRT, we have some general education students who are helping them. And LES teachers here, if you want to order a drink during our SRT, it will be delivered to you. So they're delivering it to our students and teachers during SRT with the special needs kids, so they're building some bonds there. Upcoming events that I'd love to see you attend. On Wednesday, we have our high school choir concert. Thursday, we have our band concert, but that will be at the middle school. Next week, we have academic awards. You see the girls' basketball scrimmage starts very soon before the next board meeting. Girls volleyball has their sectional this week, and next week the football team has their sectional on Friday night. And we are hosting Hagerstown. That's it for me.
Is the coffee shop open to the public?
It is not open to the public yet, but if one of you come in and want coffee and drinks, we'll make sure you get in.
Thank you. Donations is next on the agenda. We are accepting a $25 donation to the FFA from the Bath State Bank. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second. Any comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Consent agenda. This is the one change we had was with the FFA leaders to Trafalgar for an overnight Fire Congress Leadership Center. And the rest you should have gotten in your packet. Do we have a motion to accept?
So moved. I'll second it.
Comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Jerry, can we go back real quick? I found it. That Bath State Bank donation, it was from David Rudnick for Pay It Forward. So I just want to make sure that we thank him because it was a Bath check from David Rudnick. It says it here on this page. I was asking about it, so I just want to make sure to tell him thank you because he was a recent graduate and paid back $25 to the FFA is what it looks like.
Thank you.
College Corner Board update.
Okay. So I was gonna talk about the safety grant, our SRO, the board. In the beginning, we had found out, when they first started talking to us about this, it was understood that if we chose to send that money for the resource officer, that the deputy would stay in College Corner. So that was always the part of the deal, was that we kept talking about that. And they did check into it, and if we go through with this, we will be giving money to Butler County for the deputy and money to the school or Union County for an SRO. So we just wanted the most protection that we can get for the school, so that was always our intention. We talked about he updated us on some meetings he's been to, SWOCA, VASA, the fall conference, our superintendent, Mr. Derringer. We are looking at, Ohio offers a governor's merit scholarship that's only for Ohio students. But if they are awarded it, they get $5,000 a year for all 4 years. And we have one that is up for that, so we'll find out in November. So hopefully that will go through. And there's a REAP grant that we do, and it's being finalized and turned in. And then they updated us on some of the College Corner things, so the festivals and stuff that you already heard about, so. Yeah.
All right, new business. At this time, we are going to open up the hearing on the 2026 budget. The budget meeting is called to order at 7:37. For those of you that are just listening in, this is just to approve the process, to begin the process of the budget. We are not approving a budget at this time, and so I want to make that clear that we're not approving a budget, we're just starting the process. Am I right, Jennifer?
This will approve the information we sent to the state to make it our budget.
Just a side note, and the reason we ask our administrators what our count is, and when they say down 14 or down 25, I'm not sure if everybody knows how a budget works here for the school. We basically have two funds, and if I'm just telling you stuff you already know, I apologize, but since there's people here, I thought I would just recognize you and try to update you. There's an education fund, which is basically used for anything instructional, staff, teachers, aides, librarians. Then there's an operations fund, which is for all those other things like school buses, maintenance, all that. Education fund is basically you send the state, how many students do you have, and they multiply that by their multiplier, and that's your fund to use for your education fund. Per student, it's around $7,000, give or take. I know I'm not right on, Jennifer, but give or take. So tonight, we said we are down at about 40 people, a little less, but easy math here. 40 times 7,000, $280,000. We will not have next year, when we report that we had before. This is not new, this is a trend. I'm just kind of updating you so you understand there will be decisions that need to be made because we don't have the funds that we had before. So I'm just If you knew it, I apologize. If you didn't, I was just educating you. Thought I would let you know a little bit about the struggles we have, superintendent has, about running the school and keeping us at a level that we want to be, but yet still have the funds available. So, I'll get off my soapbox now and we'll go on. Item number 1, consider action to approve 2026 budget. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
So moved. Second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Susan and Michelle cannot vote.
Oh.
Oh, that's
Well,
right.
then,
So do we have,
You still have enough, because you got 3 to 2, or
Okay.
3 to 0 to do.
okay.
So I'll second it. Well, can Michelle
She
second
can
it?
still second it.
You can second, yeah.
The vote is just 3-0, still fine. Okay. Consider action to approve, consider action to approve CPF plan. Need a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Next, consider action to approve transfer amounts, now we're getting, consider action to approve bus replacement plan. I need a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Consider action to approve transfer amounts from Educational Fund Operations Fund. I need a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Second. Can we talk about that one real quick?
Yep.
So, remind me, can they bounce between both funds?
No.
Or
No.
once one gets moved,
Only
is it always
education
there?
to-
You can only go
operations.
education to operation.
So when something gets
50%.
moved, that stays there?
Only the first year when they split the funds could it go back.
That's what I was trying to remember. That, just as public conversation, that's the one that scares me the most, as we look to, give our teachers their salaries, and, that's a hard one to swallow as we try to balance everything out and make sure that we're doing what's best for staff and students, obviously. That's a scary one for me. Sure it is for everybody.
Because of the funds, and I'm pretty strict with a lot of, we don't need, if it's a want or a need, we have not moved any from the education fund to the operations fund this year.
Okay, good.
So if you didn't hear that, and I guess I didn't finish my education 101 of school budgets, you have the education fund, which I explained. The operations fund comes from your local property tax and takes care of those things, right? And so you cannot move operational to, the only place you can move is from educational to operational. I can tell you one thing that we've tried to do is keep our operational in place where we're not borrowing funds from the education fund over to the operation fund. That has happened in the past. As Jennifer just said, that hasn't happened this year. And that's because we've taken the extra time to figure out what we need versus what we want, set a priority, and ask the taxpayers to spend their money wisely, not foolishly.
Next year will be a little bit more difficult because Senate Bill 1, Senate Act, the operations fund lost $356,400 from taxes for Union County. And that's just the school. It's not law enforcement or anything else.
So you will be taking from the education fund next year, is that what you're saying?
It could be a possibility.
We won't know till we need it, but we're just, as part of the education process, we're just letting you know, we've already talked about $280,000 being reduced in the education fund. She just threw another 300, what'd you say, 300?
356 for it.
356, right?
Is that
So,
out of operations?
yes.
Okay.
But all together to fund the school, we're down $750,000.
That's for the next 3 years.
Right,
So that's 26.
Doesn't the amount increase over the next 3 years?
Yes.
So this
Senate
is just the
Act
first.
bill, it'll be more for 27. It'll be a total of over $1 million for the operation fund in 3 years.
So we're gonna do the best that we can, but we're working with really, really hard. The whole state is working with a lot.
For sure.
A lot, but we'll do the best that we can.
So, our last one is consider action to adopt resolution for appropriations and tax rates. Need a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed?
Sorry, can I just ask, did you vote on?
No, let me go back. I apologize. I think I thought that I did too. I was waiting. Consider, we didn't vote on, consider action to approve the transfer amounts from education fund to appropriations fund. We have operations fund. We have Dave with the motion, Jess with a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We will now adjourn the budget hearing at 7:45. We're back now to our school board, line item number 13. This is our second reading of the board policy, special update July 2025, and special update June 2024. I need a motion. No.
So moved.
Second it.
And Michelle and Susan, you're back in the game, so all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. We are now at our public participation. I don't know if this is against the rules. I'm going to give you one more chance. I've got one person up here who wants to speak. Is there anybody else that would like to speak tonight? All right. All right. Jordan, we'll start with you.
Good evening. I am happy to present you guys with our high school mission, vision statements along with our beliefs.
And you would have got it.
Should have a handout in your stack. So the Patriot Press, Miss Ashley Reeser created these awesome images, and teachers were encouraged to hang them up around the building in their classroom so that way kids get to see them. Each classroom they walk through, they know what our vision is. Our vision is UCHS envisions graduates who thrive as leaders and are competent, confident, and skilled members of our society. Our mission, so that's, as Ms. Barnheiser would say, that's our pie in the sky, right?
No, that's
our
the vision, is the pie in the
correct.
sky.
Yep.
Yep, that's it.
The pie in the sky, that's what we want to get to eventually. Our mission is what we do each day. Our mission is to empower staff and students by providing hope and opportunities for success. Okay, so every kid that comes through our door, we hope that we are giving them plenty of opportunities to be successful each day in our class. Our beliefs, we have 4 of them. We believe our students are capable of self-regulation given proper tools. We believe that students must demonstrate responsible, safe, ethical use of technology. We believe that curriculum should be aligned with the new Indiana diploma. I think I made the joke a couple times. You could basically just leave that blank and put whatever current cycle of whatever we're doing in that spot right there. We also believe that strong relationships along with students, staff, families, and community fosters success. So that last belief is basically it takes a village for our school district to be successful, in particular our school, the high school. Okay? Our SIP team, along with our staff, put a lot of time and heart into crafting these. We are very hopeful that our new superintendent has these same values, create leaders by providing hope and opportunity every single day. I wish to share with you my hope for our new district leadership as well. I want to be honest about this. It can be very difficult to say, but there is a lack of trust among our staff members right now. And as you know, trust can only be built over time. What we're hoping for in our new leader is someone who can rebuild that trust, starting with better communication. I'm gonna go off script here. When we did our high school accreditation last year, was that last year or 2 years ago? Last year, the number one thing that was brought up is that we need to make sure that we're being better communicators. So I think that would go a long way. We need a superintendent who will be open, transparent, and most importantly, work in the best interests of our students. Our next superintendent is going to be stepping into some very hard decisions, as we just discussed. Teachers won't expect everything to be easy. and we know that there are challenges ahead. But when communication is clear and honest, we are much more willing to get on board and buy in, even with tough decisions. At the end of the day, we all want the same thing, what's best for the students. My prayer is that the next superintendent can bring us together, value the expertise we bring to our classrooms, and keep lines of communication open. With the right leadership, I believe this is a chance to rebuild that trust and create hope and opportunity for both students and staff. Thank you.
I have a question. Do you think that, like, would the middle school be able to build off of this and the elementaries kind of build off of this?
Each building should have a mission and vision statement.
But we've never gone for a district-wide approach. That's something over the years we've talked about, but we've never initiated a district-wide approach.
I think it's a great idea. I mean, we can tell you put a lot of work into all of this, like the pathway to a patriot, you know, that kind of thing.
Right.
Where we envision the College Corner Trojans, they're going to graduate as a patriot to Liberty Elementary School. Aligning all of this together would be great so that it would be community tie-in with everybody. But good, hard work, I can tell. Thank you.
I have two requests. When you're done, I need you to sign in. We can do that now. You'll introduce yourself.
So my name is Kay Riker Payton, and I just want to say something about what Jennifer spoke about. Senate Bill 1, I'm talking to everybody here. I'm putting my other hat on right now, for my Fayette County Council. I've seen Senate Bill 1, how damaging it's going to be down the road. Everybody in here, everybody, and tell your friends and family, you need to get hold of your legislative people, Lindsay Patterson, Jeff Ross, and tell them, because I'm telling you, Senate Bill 1 is going to kill Union County, Fayette County, Franklin County, all these small little counties. I mean, they're trying to push something, but we can fight back if we hammer and hammer and hammer people in the state. That's the only thing we can do right now. It is very detrimental if it comes to fruition. I just wanted to plead with everybody, please hammer your legislators. It is very, it's not even doable. I mean, there's not enough, like there's not enough food to go around. It's just not fair, and the way they're doing it is horrible. And I've been complaining as much as I can, we just leave everybody possible in every community. It's just, that's all we can do. All they're doing is a shell game. They're saying they're doing tax reform, lifting it from one area and passing it on to another, and so your paycheck is gonna get hit. So instead of having property taxes, they're just moving the money, so your paycheck gonna get hit hard. They're always gonna get taxes, no matter which way they go about it, just because of the way the system is. But yeah, they're gonna hit your paycheck. You think you're getting tax relief from property, but you're really not, because they're moving that burden over to the tax, your paycheck. So I just want to advocate for everyone to reach out to your legislators to try to get this thing nipped in the butt, because it's really, really bad.
What does it do to your program?
Pardon?
What does it do to your program? Your
Oh,
truck
the
and?
fund for the grant?
Yeah.
Luckily, it doesn't get affected because the state, the DMHA department, had put that back in the little coffer, so it's safe.
Okay.
We're safe on that because of the people that it was already allocated before they did all that.
Well, I know you do a lot for the school, and so I'm glad to know that may
Yeah.
be able to continue.
We should be safe until 2028 on the grant stuff. Unless, a tsunami in the United States is gone or something like that, but I just wanted to advocate about everyone calling everybody. Thanks.
Okay, superintendent's comments.
Well, if you didn't get the opportunity to go to the choral concert the other night, my wife and I did, and it was a great job, and we've got some other ones coming up. And, you know, I want to make sure that you get that. First of all, I want to talk a little bit about the solar farm, because, you know, we had meetings, and those type of things. And I mentioned at the last meeting about the solar farm that it was only functioning at about 2/3, okay, of what it's supposed to produce. And what was the problem is that we had a bunch of panels that were not functioning, okay? They were broken or whatever. And now I've met with Performance Services who put it in, and they supplied the panels, and we're getting those installed. So there were 19 of them total, and so we're in the process of getting those installed. The other situation is we didn't have what I call an early warning system. For example, if they were not working or functioning, we had a computer program over there with our maintenance, but the problem is it didn't flash, here's a problem. We've now got that installed. It was supposed to be included in the process, so our guy can go in and look and say, whoa, wait a minute, there's a problem here. And so we immediately know what's going on. The other situation is I would like to, for the board, have Performance Services, okay, who put it in, actually come and report to the board how it's functioning, what it's doing, once we get it all back up where it needs to be. Because we're actually losing money. But the problem is, a lot of people don't understand how you're losing money. If you look, and Jennifer has done a great job, what it is we don't actually get the cash in hand. What it does is it pays our electric bill. So instead of us having to pay an electric bill, it pays the electric bill. So if that electric bill is $200 for the high school, that's how the money is. So we just didn't have to put $200 in to the coffer to pay that bill. So that the other situation, there is a thing called SREPs, okay? Indiana does not have them, but Ohio does. And what it is, it's a bond, okay? They sell for so much. We're in the process of tracking down where those SREPs happen to be, you know, who has them, who doesn't have them, where they're at. Right now, on the market, what you do, they're $4, you know, is how much the bond is. It's just like a savings bond or that type of situation. You can turn them in at any time, those things. The school corporation I was superintendent at, North Putnam, we got those, okay? And we thought we got them, but somehow they got given away. So here we weren't collecting the $4 or $5 or whatever they happen to be. Well, we ended up getting them back. That's money that we should be able to do. They don't sell them here in Indiana, you know, or you can't get them in Indiana, but Ohio does. And you do a system here in Indiana, you can go get those bonds. So we're in the process of looking at those. So, you know, I do think it's really good if we do have them come make a report to us, so you kind of can have what's really going on with the system. Make sure. I have quite a lengthy report. We met the other day with, you know, former superintendent, person that was on the board, went over everything, and then I met with Performance Services, and I have a full report with them right now. And, you know, I can make copies of it, but it's going to be a lot of paper, so I would rather them come see us in person so you can ask your questions. Okay? Any questions about that? All right. Next, I have, there seems to be questions. People go on a workshop or those type of things, and there's questions on do we pay for meals, or, you know, if it's a training and those type of things, or do we pay for their motel, or we don't pay for their motel? Do they have to go the day before? Those type of things. So I want you to consider as a board whether we need to look into setting a limit for those type of things, you know, or do we only send them for conferences that benefit students, or is it a conference that benefits the staff, or coming back and telling us this is what I learned about the situation, But, you know, a lot of places have, for example, a limit for breakfast, one for lunch, one for supper. So, that kind of stuff. So, or do we pay any travel for them, you know, et cetera. So, you know, that's just something for us to consider down the road.
Do we have a lot of people going to a lot of things?
Yes, ma'am, we do.
Are those
I'm probably your biggest payment.
And you're,
I'll hide.
you're sitting in the front row. Are there, I mean, are those things that you're asking if you can go to, or the school is saying, can you go? Like, how does that work?
In my case, it depends on the situation, but a lot of mine, I'm asking to go because I'm on the boards that run them. So I'm the president of the Foreign Language Association in Indiana, so I'm asking to go to the conference that we run. You know, I'm on a national board as well. So again, you know, I'm kind of asking for that. This year, for me anyway, I don't know about everybody else's, but because I'm so high up on these boards, they're paying for a lot of the stuff. But other years, once I roll off, you know. And in the past, it's been, oh, sorry.
If I may, when I started here in 2010, people have used that policy. So the board voted no meals are reimbursed. Mileage is, lodging is, over 100, or over a certain distance.
Yeah. But not the
You
night
guys,
before.
when the board policy, when you voted in August, you voted to pay, but there has to be a set. Otherwise, it's gonna go back to what it was before, and somebody's gonna have a $60 dinner and a $10 bottle of water. That's absolutely ridiculous. But that's why it stopped the first time. But since it just came back in August, I need to know, I need a meal, a limit.
So procedurally, to the superintendent, do individuals like turn in an application to go, or how does that work? Like, do
Yes,
we need
ma'am.
procedures for this, or?
Every daily, okay, I get what I call leave requests, okay? Some of them are just, they're absent for the day, some of them are going on a conference, those different types of things. And I'll talk about it a little more later, because we're looking about a new system for check-in, check-out. But we spend a lot of time on going through all those. I look at them, I say, I don't know about this one, you know, I have a question, or that kind of stuff. So I put little comments on those a lot of times, or I go to Jennifer, or I go to someone and say, okay, what is this training? What is it for? That kind of stuff.
So that's the application
Yeah.
part for the leave request?
Plus, on top of it, the leave requests here are astronomical when people are sick. And I don't understand, or have to be out of the building or whatever. And I know they have those, but the thing is, I don't know whether you understand this as a board, and hopefully when we get to the point about the check-in that we're talking about, that we have already part of the things, attendance, their request goes through 5 different people. Okay, they sign it in, then it goes to the principal or their supervisor, they sign it in, then it goes to Sarah, and she looks at it, initials it, then it goes to Jennifer, she signs, then it comes to me and I sign. And, you know, it's nothing for me to spend an hour, 45 minutes at least, you know, just filling those out. Well, hopefully when we get the new, you know, system that we're putting in, check-in, you know, that kind of stuff, we can eliminate that. But it's a lot, it's very time consuming. You know, we spend a lot of hours in the office and that kind of stuff. So, you know, it's just looking at all of it, you know, I kind of joke a little bit. My wife was here the other day, you know, and for homecoming, and I had a stack like this thick. And she said, "What are you doing?" I said, I sign these. You know, I don't stamp them. I don't do any of that kind of stuff. I sign. And, you know, I'm just saying, you know, Jennifer looks at them, Sarah looks at them, principal's supposed to look at them, you know. And some of them are requests to go on a, you know, conference or whatever. Some of them are absences or whatever, you know.
So you've got a plan in place to streamline
Yes,
that?
ma'am.
Okay.
I do.
Well, I have 2 questions.
Yes, sir.
What kind of money are we talking about that we're spending on conferences on an annual basis?
I'd have to refer to Jennifer, or Jennifer on that. I don't have, I can look and get a figure for it for the next board meeting.
Secondly, out of all that process, who's the decision maker?
You're looking at,
Okay, so a principal signs off, but they're not saying yay or nay, they're just signing off.
but sometimes I send a note back to the principal and say, is this necessary?
Okay.
Or someone else?
All right.
Okay, the other thing I have is, just to make sure, you as a board, and I will provide you the information, what is reduction in force? What's the law? For example, if we would happen to ever have a reduction in force, notification is actually at the end of the year. Okay, there's dates. The problem with that I have is if we have to have a reduction in force, I think we need to notify people early. So if that comes, I'm looking at all the schedules we have here, you know, how many people we have in this class or that class, you know, kind of reviewing. I've talked to people about, to make sure that we're getting, you know, the right balance in classes. You know, I've got a whole file on that, which is here, that has exactly all of the classes we offer in the school system. And is there any classes we need or we don't need? And I'm looking at that right now. Do we hire, if we have a position open, do we need that position? So I'm going through that and looking about balances. I've talked with counselors and those type of people and said, okay, and principals, because, you know, it's nice to say we need all, are some of these things a luxury, but maybe we don't need it. And, you know, you have to, when you're looking at the financial situation we're in right now, we have to look at everything. And so that's what I'm doing, and I will bring that information back to you. When I talk about the negotiation team, which I have listed there, that's just, I'll be giving dates for people that are on, a number of dates, sharing with the union when we can meet, and we go from there. You have a change?
Can I
Yes,
just say
ma'am.
one thing? I'm on the, like, bargaining committee, and I just, like, I got an invitation, like, on a Friday for a Monday at 4. I just need to let everybody know I can never be here by
Okay.
then.
All
So
right.
just when you're pre-planning,
Sure.
I'll never be available at that time.
Is there a better time in the evening or something for you?
Yeah, I can always be here by 5:30 or 6.
5:30? Okay.
Yeah.
Is there anybody else in here? I know you had asked me, so it could be after school sometime.
Oh, well, yeah.
So,
And if I could ever join by, like, Google, I'd be willing to do that, but I'm an hour away, so I
all right.
just can't. We don't get out of school till 4:30. So,
Okay,
I'm good.
Jennifer, I had to go to we are in a consortium for our medical and that kind of stuff, which that does the clinic and those things. But they also talked about the changes in the Medicare, you know, that's out there, so just you're aware of it. It does affect us because, you know, prescriptions are gonna go up possibly. And also, I don't know if, I haven't got a number exactly what the change could be with the consortium that we're in. You know, they said, well, there's gonna be a amount. Well, they didn't give us an amount when I was there the other day at the meeting. So, we did have a change. Was requested by special education to meet in this one hallway here for more room for their students. So we have, you know, made that change. The only question that I have is that these doors down here, actually, you saw tonight, they need to be closed and locked because we do have some students that are runners. And the other thing is, I think it puts a hardship on our ladies in the office that I have the training, so I can give CPR and all that kind of stuff. But if somebody who goes down, you know, or restrained, I have that training. You know, I don't expect my ladies here to go restrain somebody, okay? So, just so you're aware. Transportation, we are looking at transportation. You did approve tonight a purchase of a bus, okay? Basically, in your transportation budget. Now, I am looking into it, I've talked with Joe and that type of stuff. Do we actually need to buy a bus this year? That's a $150,000 item. So we're looking at that. When you look at that, why do you look at it? Well, first of all, the numbers you have right now for transportation happens to be potential riders, okay? But when I come down from Anderson, down 27, and I'm not criticizing our bus, because our people do a great job, but is every bus full? What is our actual seat count? People that are on that seat daily. So I'm asking for a seat count, so you're aware of that. The safety grant, you know, I've got the whole safety grant report here, and you're welcome to look at it. You know, the guy was here, like I said, Mike did a great job on it. He gave us some great thoughts and ideas, but it's here. Potential dates for a teacher negotiation, I'm just working on that, you know, and I'll try to get that. Your administrative evaluation needs to be done by December 1st of all your administrators. Okay, the time clock placement, and we have, prior to my coming here, they ordered time clocks for everybody here, check in, you know, we have them. We're trying to find out. They were purchased, how long ago, I'm trying to remember. July 2024, so they've been sitting here. Well, we're in the process of getting those put in so that we can eliminate some of this paperwork here. So let's take a bus driver that has the bus at home, okay? We're working on a system. Every bus driver calls in to Sarah, if they're out there, I'm checking in, I'm going on my route. Well, we're gonna have to do a little something there, either put it on the computer that they've checked in, and then they check in when they get their bus back home. But the rest of it, we can put over in transportation, the check-in, and then principals are in the process of where they want theirs at. You've got to do custodians, you got to do teacher's assistant or instructional assistants. So we have all that, so maybe eliminate some of this paperwork. And it gives us a record of who checked in, who checked out. Now, I understand it's a little inconvenient sometimes, but we just need to make sure, there's a lot of reasons that we have that correct.
Is this just hourly employees?
It's every employee. Every employee, teachers, everybody. So, you know, I'll have more information once we get closer to that. So, all right.
Is that, I mean, is that discussed? Can we have discussions about that?
Yes, ma'am.
Like we could go to hourly. I mean, I see why hourly employees would be clocking in or clocking out with an actual machine. I've never heard of teachers being asked to do that.
Right now, it's down at Franklin County. They're using it. You know.
Even for their salary?
Is that a thing?
A lot of them are using it either one way or another, either in and out, or on this system we have, if the teachers clock in either some point during the day, it lets you know you're here, or they fill out the paperwork and punch it that says they're absent that day.
And we're gonna try to go to Franklin County and see how theirs operates.
So this won't go into effect until we have an opportunity to.
Right, these are all just suggestions.
Suggestions.
We're not agreeing to anything. He's just throwing out stuff we should be thinking about.
Yeah.
There are things that we've had some financial savings happens to be, is that, you know, Jennifer was very instrumental. We were having a renovation of the high school cafeteria. We're supposed to, the figure came in out of capital outlay at $130,000, and she was able to get that down to 95, and they'll be doing that over Christmas break. So tables and all that will be in. The other situation is we were able to, at College Corner, for example, the cubbies that the kids have out there are in pretty bad shape, and we were able to buy some used ones that were in really good shape. We bought, let's see, some teacher wardrobes, some new student desks, some student desk, metal cabinet, 4 foot by 2 side carts, office chairs, just one cubbies, 30 of them, and one side tall shelves. And one of them was full of paper, which could be used for all types of things, like art, those different types of things. And we only paid $2,105 for it, so quite a savings. We had to go pick them up on a Friday and, rent a truck, those type of things to get them back here. So you're aware of that. There's some other things that we've been looking at. We had to get a College Corner, we need a new steam table, and we were able to get that down $1,800 from what the price that would be. So we've been kind of, Jennifer has helped me, myself, to, say, hey, wait a minute, let's talk about this a little bit, maybe we can get a better price. State shutdown, so you're aware of that. The education office in the state here has pretty much shut down because they cut back on the staff. And getting certification for teachers and people have been very, very difficult. We've had some people that need to get an emergency license, those different types of things. And, we've tried. You call their certification office right now, and what happens is, the phone just, boom, won't go through. Well, I finally found a number we could get through, and Monica, your principal at the middle school, was having a situation, and so we tried. Well, I said, I got so aggravated, I said, fine, I'll just bring this down here. Oh, you can't do that. I said, how am I gonna get this person certified? Well, you're just gonna have to wait. What's the waiting time? 4.5 weeks. I said, 4.5 weeks? We're running a school here. So that's been a real problem, just so you're aware of that. So we have that. Just for example, okay, if the state funding for things, the federal funding for things like the CEL program that we're part of, they're not paying anything right now. So there's no money going out for them to go to the conferences because the federal government's shut down, so that changes. My last thing is this. I really think you need to really consider possibly, Emily Snyder came to me when I was going home the other night and called me and said, have you thought about a online school here? I said, well, yeah, kind of. So I called, we had an online school at one of my previous places, and I called them and I said, what are you using? And he told me. And there are some programs out there I'd like you to look at. It pays 85% of what our tuition, I call it tuition payment for students right now. So if we could pick up students, in some programs, you do it at home, and if that situation is, let's say you had 20 slots, just to shoot that as an example, okay? I call them slots, or action. And if it goes inactive, then you get cut off, okay? So you have to stay active on it. You have to have some rules. You have to have a C average or better. There's a number of things to look into. A lot of schools are doing it right now. School corporation, I know that a gentleman I talked to, they're small. We have more in the high school than they have. They have 200 students enrolled. Take that, do 85% of what the state tuition happens to be. Looking at the financial situation we happen to be in right now, it's something for us to consider. So I'm just throwing that out, and I'll have more information for you. That Emily Snyder, she talked to me about it, and she has had some involvement kind of in it, and I talked with her today, asking her a lot of questions, and I said, why don't you kind of outline what you were talking about in your mind, okay? I want to talk one thing about the TAG program. Okay, that's teacher grant that we used to have. It's changed, the whole law has changed about it, and it's a lot of misconception. Used to be anybody that got an exceptional evaluation got money. Well, that's changed. And so we're at the present time, I have chosen, Jennifer talked to me about us not being a part of that, because now if you're competing, you know, and some people will get it, some won't, you know, is it going to be, and I have a letter that I'm gonna give to everybody in regards to it. I've checked it all out, I've had people ask. And what it has done, it's shifted the focus, and it's changed from teacher appreciation grant away from providing financial rewards to every teacher with an effective or highly effective evaluation, to one based on specific factors, categories that are defined in law. It also limits the number of teachers who are eligible to receive it. Well, that's changed. It's a valid concern that these changes by the legislature could create feelings of competition, diversity, and between teachers depending on how it's implemented. And then on top of it, what it says too, if I can get my fingers to work, the old system is not coming back, so the new system is the only way to earn extra money can be given to teachers. I'm aware that some school districts are considering to not participate in the TAG program. Based on my own experiences and conversations with other superintendents, I believe a decision not to participate could be a mistake with the unintentional consequences for both for your school districts. But the thing is, however, I also want to let you know, I've had conversations with individuals, informal and informal. I've talked with some legislators, and the problem I have is who is eligible, who will be eligible, and who's not. I think that's going to be a very, very hard tool. So I've got other information for you on that. I'll make sure that you get it. I appreciate the opportunity to discuss with you tonight these things. Please, if you have other concerns, things that are coming up, you know, I just want to make sure that we cover, you know, a lot of items for you.
So can you clarify, are we going for the TAG money or not?
No, ma'am, we are not.
Okay.
We're not. You know, I think Jennifer and I both agree that right now, no. I think it's causes a, like I said, a competition situation. And until we get clarification from the state, how that's going to be decided, I would not recommend that. Thank you for asking. I'm sorry. Any other questions? Any other questions?
Thank you for digging into the solar, because I know that was a lot of work, and it's gonna pay off.
Yes,
so
ma'am, it will.
Thank you.
So what do you think we lost? Or what are we gonna gain when we get that third of the system back up?
Well,
Are we talking thousands of dollars? Are we talking tens of thousands of dollars?
when I get the full report from Performance Services, I'll be able to give you a pretty good figure. That's why I think it's really beneficial for them to come here and, you know, you can see the report, you can see what we lost or what we didn't lose, those type of things. But like I said, the last board meeting, I think it was last board meeting or when we ever talked, when all of a sudden, the one report that we had, we're losing a third of the power, you know? So it's only functioning at two-thirds. There has to be some financial situations there. So, and thank you for bringing everybody for that meeting. Very beneficial.
Board comments.
I'd like to say that this is top notch and appreciate all the hard work that went into it. And it was kind of consensus, we'd like the other buildings to come up with your mission statements. And when that's done, I'd like to invite 2 people off of your committee of each building to meet with 2 members of this board so that we can present a mission statement for the entire district. Thank you again.
I have a few things to say. I think, Christina, didn't you guys have 100% attendance? That's pretty awesome.
For the first time ever that I know of.
Yeah, so congratulations on that. Ashley and Carla, for your help with homecoming every year. It seems like homecoming was 6 months ago. but we haven't had a meeting since then, so thank you very much, all the high school, everybody that participates in that. I know Sarah and Jennifer spent some time here while we were doing superintendent interviews, and thanks for your hospitality. I really appreciate Mrs. Albright. She sends out invitations to us for her performances, and although I haven't been able to go, I appreciate that she keeps me in the loop. Another huge kudos to the band. I just love hearing the fight song, even if we're losing by a lot. I just like to hear the fight song. Obviously, Facebook, I see the FFA is doing great things. Jordan, I see the weight room doing great things. I wanted to ask a specific question about the school lunch fund that's $18,000. Is that to help cover lunch fees? What's the school lunch fund?
That is their operating fund.
Their operating fund.
All payments come in have to go to a holding fund.
And that's where they sit.
Which is the 8,400 fund on your fund report, because until those funds are actually used by students, they have to be set in a holding account. It can't be automatically used for the operations of the school.
Okay, thank you for that. Let's see. Oh, I also wanted to speak for just a minute about, I don't know if the board's aware, but I saw on Facebook that the high school would like a wellness room. And I also know that teachers' mental health is huge. We work in a thankless profession sometimes. I mean, the kids are always thankful, but they may not always act that way. But I know, I looked through the list of things you wanted on Amazon, and I just don't see why we can't help with that. I don't know how, and I'll help you figure that out. But I don't know whether other schools are interested in something like that, but I do want to at least acknowledge the fact that you're asking for some things that would help you feel better in your position. And if it's little things like that, I'm sure we can figure out a way to make it happen. And then I also want to make sure that when we're talking about negotiations and with the union and all of that, I know that this has come up before and we've tried really hard to make it happen, but we have some teachers here that have been here for many, many years who are making less money than our newest hires. And, you know, if we want to talk about boosting morale, then we have to show those that have been here forever that we appreciate them. And we're going into this huge deficit where we're going to lose hundreds of thousands of dollars, but without teachers, we have no school. So we have to figure out a way to balance that all out. And so I'm glad to be a part of the bargaining and negotiation team, but I'm actually really scared of it because I know what I want to do and I know what it sounds like we won't be able to do just because our hands are tied. But I don't want you to feel like you aren't deserving of that. So just if we can think outside of the box, and I don't know how, but we can figure something out along the way. But thank you all. That was it for me. Oh, I wanted to say one more thing. Sorry. Mallory, that's not here tonight, just be thinking of her family if you don't mind.
I have one more comment before coming here tonight. Federal education and furloughed 99% of their employees this evening. So that year and a half to 2 year repayment policy is probably going to be shifted, and we may not get payments at all. So
I just want to congratulate Christina on the Trojan trot. It was very well done, very organized, and one of the best community projects I've ever seen, so.
I can't take credit for it. You have to say Sierra Dawson, but.
But it was great. Thank you very much.
I just want to thank you all for coming. Believe it or not, I prefer when the seats are full than empty. You know, we have a lot of things going on. There are some things we can comment on. There are some things we can't comment on. We're trying to be as transparent as we can. But I will also reach out to you and ask you that if you have, and several of you here, I've already communicated with, talked to, prior to now, during the time I've been on the board, your input is valuable to us. I hope you got the surveys from your administrators around questions for the new superintendent, and I know we're using those on the responses that we've gotten back. We do want your input. I also will tell you, as you can see, we're gonna have to start thinking out of the box. So you're our front line. I would love to hear, I can tell you I've learned in the last couple of weeks, retention is killing us. Killing us. And so I see the heads of the teachers going online, oh, what are we going to, you know, right? But we have to think that way because it's still a business here that we have to run and we have to keep the roof over our head. So if we can get 85% of a kid that's leaving, and I can tell you we've lost somewhere between 70 to 100 kids over the last 3 to 4 years online. So I want to know, why are we losing those kids? You guys are front line. You know why they're leaving. Help us out. Is there something that we can be doing as a school system to keep those kids? If not, maybe we look at online. I don't know, but I mean, Daniel's doing a good job of trying to find every nickel and dime we can because you think, you know, 20,000 here, whatever. That's an aide salary or a teacher's salary or part of it. It seems little, but that's where we're at. And so I appreciate you coming, but I also appreciate your input. So I know you all have my email address because I've gotten some emails from you in the past. And I know if you don't have my phone number, you can send me an email and say, I want to talk to you, and I'll send you my phone number. But know your input is valuable to us, and we do take what input we get and apply it and use it and evaluate it. So once again, I thank you for your time, your effort, for those who attend. We're trying to do what we can. I can tell you, we were very close. I didn't realize how close we were to just basically losing our school system with this state stuff. And so we have to make sure that we keep the school system up and running, and that's what we're trying to do.
We need to mention about the process of the superintendent.
Well, we're interviewing superintendents as we speak. I will tell you that we are in the process, and I don't want to comment on what we talked about. But I will tell you, we asked experts to come in and help us. So we're not doing this in a vacuum. We had experts throughout the state come and tell us, evaluate our applicants, tell us who was strong, who wasn't. They took our advice from, we know we want someone local. I'm on the same page, right? But local always doesn't mean qualified. So you need to be local. We also want him to be a better, or her to be a better communicator. We understand that the last one wasn't for you folks, and I'm probably saying stuff that some people are saying, well, I don't know if you should say all that, but I'm just being transparent, right? We understand he wasn't a good communicator. I was in there every month telling him, it's not what you do, it's how you do it and when you do it. And so I will say, he made some decisions that saved us also. And so I know he went to Indianapolis and fought hard for our school system. And some of these changes, he wasn't alone on them. I told you we're interviewing people. They're telling us they'd look at the same places he did. So I just want you to know we're out there, we're working for you, but we'll take any input we can get. We're trying to be as transparent as we can. But there are some things we legally cannot tell you. And I can give you the piece of paper if you want as to what we're allowed to do and what we're not allowed to do, but I have to legally stay within my bounds. And so does the board. With that, I'll adjourn. Thank you.